everybody, welcome back to Chortle Cast. I'm Jake, and today it's just me. This is another Jake solo special. So Steven, if you've been following us this week, you know Steven is sick. He's got the sniffles. I call him a wussy because I have the sniffles all the time, every day, 24/7. So he's just experiencing a little slice of what it's like to be Jake on any given day. But that's okay, we're not going to hold it against him because this is Chortle Cast. And it's not where we talk about Steven, okay? All right, that's not what we do here, all right? We do it sometimes, but not all the time, all right? We mess around, we hang around, and have a good time. So today, we're gonna be, if you don't know already, Chortle Cast is the official podcast of Chortle Games, where we talk about video games, TV shows, movies, anything we wanna talk about. We have a lot of great fun. We want you to be a part of the show. You can write in to us at chortlecast@gmail.com with your questions, topics, concerns, whatever. We love to listen to those and talk about those on the show. You can also hit us up on our Discord, which you can find the link to in the description of this video or on our channel banner. We have a whole channel in the Discord devoted to podcast questions, so be sure to jump in there, get your questions in, and we'll definitely talk about them. And we appreciate you for becoming a part of our show, and that's what this is all about. But we got a great show for you. I'm going to be talking about, we got a lot of console talk going on this week. Microsoft announced their new Project xCloud. We're going to be talking about the PS5. We're going to also be talking a little bit about Destiny 2 and what's coming with the Festival of the Lost Souls. And then we're also going to be talking about James Gunn possibly going to Suicide Squad. So a lot of good stuff. We're going to have a good time, so let's do this. So we always start the show with catch up, just talking about what we've been playing. I'm still playing some Destiny. I'm still working on Spider-Man. But this week we played some Overwatch, and that's been really, really fun. It's still a great game. Crazy that they just continue to update it. We played the Halloween mode that came out for the month of Halloween, Junkenstein's Revenge. It's still a very fun mode. I wish they had updated it a little bit, either added some new characters to fight as bosses, or changed up the map a little bit. They did add a new versus, or I forget what they call it, like a battle map that it's just for versus battles, which is a nice addition. But just kind of wish they had given the Horde mode something new to sample on. Maybe they'll do that next year, give it another year or so to live as is. But anyway, the costumes and skins they continue to do are just top notch and a really exciting part of the game experience. But we played that. It was a lot of fun. It was good to jump back into Overwatch. It's crazy now that I've been playing so much Destiny, how you can really tell the quality of a shooter that Destiny provides, just because it feels completely different from everything else that's going on. But anyway, so getting into the news, the first thing I want to talk about is Xbox, Microsoft. All throughout E3, kind of the big talk was, working towards going everything streaming. Streaming your games to your computer, to your phone, to your tablet, just being able to play your games anywhere and anytime. When they started talking about that, Steven and I, we were real concerned about just latency, and some places have better service than others. On this channel, one of the reasons Brody doesn't stream as much, and he started to stream a little bit more, is his internet has just been horrible. And even you'll hear him if you watch the Fortnite stream that he did. His internet was real bad. He was lagging, he talked a lot about that. But it's one of those things that, it's already hard enough to play a game you've downloaded online. Just imagine constantly having to stream and download data back and forth. So I'm still hesitant on it, but they fleshed out a lot more this week. They talked about how they're going to start doing a beta test in 2019, I believe is what they said. Yeah, public trials are going to happen in 2019. They want to learn and try to adjust for how that's going to work. They've also talked about putting up customized blades that can host the component parts of multiple Xbox One consoles, as well as associated infrastructure. What I take from that is it's almost like not like satellites, but almost like antennas that they're going to spread out and put around. I could be reading that and misunderstanding what they're talking about there. But basically they're talking about how, obviously the the streaming and internet capabilities of some areas are going to be struggling, and so they're going to try to do their best to make sure that everyone can use the service. It's being tested on mobile phones and tablets right now, which I've got to admit, and then they talk about you can connect Xbox controllers through Bluetooth. I've got to admit that it does appeal to me, the thought of just, having my phone and just popping out and playing whatever. They've talked about they're trying to develop touch interface for certain games, just kind of as an option, so that even if you don't have a controller that you want to pull out to play, you'll have some freedom and range of motion there. So it's exciting. I think it could be really good if it all works. You know what I mean? For technology, and especially internet, is so here or there, and we're Chortle Games, we're based in a south state, so we are in a more rural area. But even that said, in our office we have fiber internet, so we have gig download and upload speeds. So we have some good places that have good infrastructure, but still it's so much more to be desired, and I don't know how well things are going to work. But I think if they can help get that data to people faster, work out a couple things to make that work better, maybe pre-downloading parts of the game so that it's loaded into your device. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. Only time will tell if this is going to work or if this is going to work well. So we'll have to see where that all goes. But that's not the only console talk we got this week. We've known for a while that Sony is currently developing or working on, we've known for a while that Sony has said that 2020 is kind of the year that the next generation is going to come about. So I've kind of been holding off on a PS4 Pro at this point, because it's like, you got 2 more years or so and we'll have a fresh console out. We now have some official word from Sony that they are working on the PS5. We don't have a name yet. There's rumor that they're looking at backwards compatibility, so that we might, can be able to play some older games. That was a big gripe from the PlayStation community in this cycle. But basically, they are hoping to have. They are starting to develop what comes next. Let me see. Look through my notes here. Speaking of internet, my internet is not loading fast enough that I can read stories. So you understand what I'm saying? Let's see. Yeah, they're basically what they've come out and say is that yes, they're going to need necessary a next generation is going to be the next thing that they've got to do. Definitely not surprising. They're saying it won't be a major departure from the PS4. It would still be the same, basic structure. I imagine it's going to improve, obviously, the power and what all it can do. I imagine would be the next step past the PS4. I imagine it would be stronger than the Xbox One X at this point. But I don't think, based on what they've said, they don't look like they're. I feel like, based on what they've said, Sony sounds like they're staying right where they are as far as concept and how they're doing things, but they're gonna just continue to improve. Whereas Nintendo has taken this hybrid route, and they're having a lot of success with that, and Xbox seems to be moving towards an all streaming-based service. PlayStation's staying right with the consistent, here's your console, here's your games, yada yada yada. So hopefully they'll do the backwards compatibility thing. That would be a nice touch. Since the PS4 has had a long life, there's going to be a lot of people who already have games for it. Being able to just move up to the next system but still have your games is going to be really, really nice. But what I expect we may see some sort of reveal at this year's E3 in 2019. Maybe a teaser, something similar to what we got for the Xbox One X. Back then it was Project Scorpion from Xbox. I think it was 2 E3s ago that we got that. But anyway, something akin to that, and then maybe by 2020 we'll actually have a release date, or even 2021. I'm definitely one for long console life cycles. PS4 has had one of the longer life cycles, so I'm satisfied with what I've been able to get out of my PS4, just standard, first edition PS4. So I think it's lived a good life. I'm ready to move on. I think it's justified to move on to the next thing, especially if it's getting better. And we already know that some games are being developed. Some games that we've already seen at E3 are being developed for next-gen consoles. So hopefully all the big things will still get out in PS4, but it's always good when we move up. But speaking of backwards compatibility being one of the things people have been asking for a long time, Sony's doing real good right now. They're giving the people what they want. They have announced that we are soon going to be able to change our PSN names. So that is a big thing that the community has wanted for a long time. It seems like it should have been a simple, easy step, but there's a lot that goes into it. A lot of difficult changes. They've apparently had people working on this for a very, very long time. And even when this does come about and is accessible to everyone, there may still be some issues. And it's just because your ID is what your account is connected to. It's basically what they say, and that if you change that, suddenly it may not know what you have, like what games you have and things like that. Whereas I think normally you'd attach that to like an email address or something like that. That was all attached to your ID. So it was a big change. They had to do a lot of work on that to make it happen, but they're basically going to be starting a beta with select community members. There's certain, a while ago they did a sign up to be a beta tester for a new PSN update. It's going to be going through people like that, pre-selected folks. They're going to be trying that out, and I believe the plan is, sorry, I'm scrolling here trying to find, the beta is going to start soon, and it's going to end in November 2018, and then if all goes well, hopefully early 2019 is when we'll be able to actually make this change. But it's going to be interesting. The first change that you get will be free. Everyone will have one change that they can make. So if you have a horrible PSN name right now, you'll be able to change that for free. But every change after that will be $10 in the United States if you're not a PSN subscriber or a PS Plus subscriber, $5 from the US if you are a PS Plus subscriber. So I feel like that's reasonable. I'm not one to want to change my name very much, so I think that's a reasonable charge to. I think most people will be able to get their first change out and then not really want to change it. But if you really, really, really need to, you have a way, and it's just because of how difficult, again, that it apparently is to change all of that together. So, personally, I like my ID as it is now. I'm gonna change it just because I'm trying to streamline a lot of stuff for the channel. So I've got my Xbox account and my Nintendo Switch account as Chortle Jake, so I'm hoping to snag that on the PSN. So hopefully in 2019 all will go well and we'll be able to do this. I think this is an exciting feature. I was hoping to hear from Brody and Miles and Steven if they're going to change their names or what they're going to do. I'm sure they will to some degree at some point. But anyway, really nice that Sony's finally answering that. They're opening up to crossplay. They're looking into backwards compatibility. They're letting us change our names. A lot of good stuff. This would have been some really fun group of announcements to do at a PSX or something like that. But they didn't want to do PSX this year. So it all works out. It all comes around. All right, while we're just focused on games here for a second, I want to switch over to Destiny 2. We're going to talk about the Festival of the Lost, which is the Halloween event that happens in Destiny. We haven't had one for Destiny 2 yet, so this is very exciting. And they're doing a lot of different things. So they're adding in a new Horde mode. It's going to be, I forget what it's called, it's like the Forest of the Lost, something like that. The Haunted Forest, there you go. Basically, it's a Horde mode. It's going to give players 15 minutes to progress as far into the Haunted Forest as you can. And basically, it's going to, the further you get in, the harder the enemies are going to be. The further you go, the better rewards you'll get. So, what are the rewards? There's a lot of fun rewards. So, kind of the big thing with the Festival of the Lost, at least in the past, has been the masks that you get. So you get special masks, which are a fun addition to the game, and there's some really cool ones that they've already shown. There's one that looks like I want to say Shaq, but that's not right. Shax, I guess, who's the head of the Crucible. There's one like him. There's one like the loyalist, or I forget what he's called, the fanatic from the Forsaken DLC. There's a lot of great sparrows, a lot of great ghosts. There's a ghost that looks like a black cat, and I'm gonna get that if it's the last thing I do. Some cool sparrows though. One looks like a sword. It's going to be really nice. The tower's going to be all decorated with lanterns that look like Ingrams, and there's going to be candles everywhere. And the whole theme of this is Amanda Holiday is kind of saying, we can't just continue to mope around about Cade. We need to move on. We need to show everyone that we're not, just going to get thrown around. We're not going to be upset about this forever. So I personally hope that this means after this event we won't have the sad music playing in the tower anymore, because it makes me sad every time I get there, because it's like, I know why this music is playing. It's playing because Cade is not here. So I hope this will kind of be a smooth transition point for that to not come back. But anyway, yeah, so Amanda's kind of the one behind decorating everything back out. Let me see here. So yeah, so the Haunted Forest, that's going to be a nice new addition, but also we're going to have a new quest that's going to be about an NPC that was murdered, Master Ives. And so what's interesting is this quest is going to start on October 30th. The event starts on October 16th, so that's this upcoming Tuesday. It is so it's interesting that it's starting, almost a week out. I think we're only going to have another week or two to actually beat it, because the event ends on like November 1st or 2nd or something like that. Anyway, Master Ives has been murdered, and so the quest line is going to be us kind of solving the murder and trying to get through it and everything. But it's going to be real interesting. I'm curious to see who's going to be the murderer there. Who was this NPC? Did he have a lot of, what kind of importance is this going to ring out for us going forward into like some of the DLC that's going to be coming out over the rest of this year? They're going to be adding new triumphs, new daily bounties. They're awarding fragmented souls that lets you buy Festival of the Lost masks, and there's a new legendary auto rifle called Horror Story. So that should be really exciting. They're now through the whole event, you're going to be getting ethereal Ingrams as well as your steadfast Ingram. So that's 2 bright Ingrams basically throughout the whole event. So it'll be very good for anybody to just continue to play through this game to get as much of those as possible to get a lot of bright dust. If you're like me, I'm wanting all the emotes. I'm going for that cat ghost. I definitely want a legendary. If there's an exotic sparrow that's going to have the Halloween theme, I definitely am going to want that. And then obviously the masks are a lot of fun and should be a lot of fun to use throughout. I know I saw a wolf one. There's a pumpkin one from a few years ago. That's going to be really cool and fun to see everybody wearing those. It's unclear to me. I didn't get to play the Festival of Lost Souls in the first one. I don't know if they have any light level associated with them, or if it actually hurts your light level when you're wearing them. So I'm excited to see how that all goes. Should make everything a little bit more difficult for everybody while they do it and play it that way. So anyway, all right, let's move on from all that. I'm going to talk about James Gunn. James Gunn, obviously earlier this year when he was fired from Guardians of the Galaxy, fired from Marvel, stirred up a big controversy from a lot of people. It eventually circled back that Disney had a sit-down meeting with him and still left that meeting not hiring him back. From what I understand, it seems like that was a decision on Disney's side. It wasn't necessarily that James wasn't wanting to come back. Whatever have you, that's where it left off with James Gunn not coming back to do Guardians or any other Marvel movie. now the I guess rumor, or it's really just been announced, a Warner Brothers representative confirmed that James Gunn is going to be directing, or well, will possibly direct, but is definitely writing a Suicide Squad 2. So this is really exciting news. You know, Guardians of the Galaxy, you know, James and Marvel, they took a talking raccoon and a talking tree and made it a cool movie, you know, a really successful movie that was a lot of fun, had a lot of good elements to it. James is really good at this kind of ragtag group of a team coming together, making them interesting and exciting, which is what Suicide Squad was kind of supposed to be. Was here's this ragtag group of villains who have to become heroes as best they can and kind of save the day. And so the first one was met with mixed criticism. They won an Oscar, I think it was, for costume design, and I personally didn't like the movie that much. I thought there was I thought the first half was really good. There's a point in the middle where they're wandering around in the city that I think they could have just cut all of that out. I think they should have doubled the intro length, cut out all the junk in the middle, and then the end, at least the action had kind of picked up, but it still kind of fizzled out. The enemy was okay, was so. But anyway, regardless of what you thought, you know, if you liked the Joker or not, I do think that James Gunn could take this and actually maybe not save it, but could do better with it. You know, right now, in my opinion, all DC really has going for it is Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's been one of the most successful things they've done. So I don't know that James alone is going to be able to salvage everything that DC is doing right now with just one movie. But I hope he can come in, he can salvage what they've already started, and can come up with a better movie and produce a better movie for them. And maybe they'll see what he's done and take that and want to push it further to other movies. You know, there's a lot of team ups, even just the Justice League, you know, that could be a really successful thing if they put, you know, James could potentially do a lot for that. So anyway, hopefully next week we can get some of Steven's thoughts on that and where he thinks that's going to go, and all that good stuff. Well, hey everybody, thanks for listening to this episode of Chortle Cast. We do hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, there's a few things you can do to help us out. Number one, if you're watching on YouTube, you're already at chortlegames.com. You can leave a like on this video, share it with your friends, and leave us a comment and let us know what you thought about the subjects we talked about tonight. You know, Jake Solo specials are always a little bit shorter, and it's usually just my opinion, so I don't have anyone to bounce it off of. So I really appreciate any comments you leave to let me know about your thoughts and what you think about what's going on there. Also, if you're an audio listener, you can leave us a review. iTunes is the best place to do that right now. That really helps the channel the podcast get noticed. So we appreciate that. And then, of course, like I said at the top of the show, this is an interactive show. So if you want to send in a news story or a topic that you'd like to hear us talk about, we would definitely do that. You can send an email to chortlecast@gmail.com, and we'll read that on here. You can also hit us up on our Discord. Again, the link to that is in the description of this video or this podcast if you're listening on audio listener. And you can also, of course, get to it through our channel banner. And so we really encourage you to do that. We've got a pretty active group in there now. It's a lot of fun. We're always chatting. So we encourage you to do that. And then last but not least, you can follow us on social media at Chortle Games on Twitter and at Chortle Games on Facebook. We have a lot of fun there. Me, Steven, and Brody all tweet through there, so you can follow our funny tweets and see all the fun behind-the-scenes stuff that's going on. We appreciate your support there as well. This is not the only thing we do on the channel. We have content 6 days a week. Lots of content. It seems like it's growing constantly. Brody is a little bit more flexible in his schedule right now because he's working nights. So you may see some bonus live streams pop up over the next few weeks, where Brody and his fiance Alexanne are live streaming a game. You may see Steven in a couple of those, depending on how ahead of time we can know he's going to play something. But anyway, if you see those, just know they're not necessarily in the schedule, but they are something. It's a good reason to subscribe to Chortle Games on YouTube, so that you can know when those things are happening. And of course, also stay tuned to us on Twitter and Facebook, because we usually share those links when someone goes live. But anyway, we do have a lot of other content going on. On Monday we do Let's Plays. This Monday we're going to be playing a little game called Wander Song, not to be confused with Wonder Sung, which is what I keep wanting to call it. But anyway, this is a fun little game where the core mechanic is you yodel. So it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be me playing through that, so look forward to that. It should be a funny little Let's Play. We may also see Steven streaming Metro on Monday night. He's working through Metro Last Light right now, so you may see him there. And then of course on Tuesday, October 16th, that is when the Festival of the Lost for Destiny 2 happens. So we usually do Team Up Tuesday. That's usually where we're playing Destiny 2 anyway, so we're going to be doing all sorts of that. We're going to be checking out the new Horde mode and lots of other stuff like that, so be sure to tune in for that and see what we get and see what we do. And then of course on Wednesday we'll have another Let's Play. This Wednesday it's going to be me playing a spooky VR game. It's this game called Dying Reborn. I got it for $2. It's about a $2 game. It's pretty funny. I spooked myself out. Me and Steven solved some puzzles. We make a joke that ends up being the right answer, so there's a lot of good stuff in there, so you'll want to see that. And then of course Thursday, Steven does a Let's Play or a live stream series. He's been playing through Phantom Doctrine since it's Halloween in October. He's playing through the Metro series right now, so you'll be seeing him play Metro Last Light on Thursday, as well as maybe Monday and later this weekend as well. So, and then of course, I skipped right over what our schedule is for this Friday, but every Friday we do a Where Is Zer live stream at 11:40. And followed right after that is where the podcast, Chortle Cast, goes live every Friday at 12 o'clock Central Time. And then we'll do 2 live streams on Friday and 2 live streams on Saturday. This Friday, I'm going to be playing Until Dawn. And then Steven and I are going to be jumping into something later this afternoon. I don't think we've decided, or later Friday. I don't know that we've decided that just yet. Saturday, though, Steven is going to be doing some Metro, going through that, and then we're going to be playing Dead by Daylight with our Friendly Fire Games crew, who is another channel that we are friends with through this beautiful thing we call the internet. So a lot of great stuff, a lot of content going on. We thank you for being a part of it. Like I said, thank you for listening to the Jake Solo special. These always tend to be a little bit shorter because it's just me talking. I don't get to bounce my ideas and thoughts off of Steven and hear what he has to say, but we appreciate you listening. We appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you in a live stream later this week. Thanks for watching. Bye.